Hello friends, I am Dr. Pooja Kapoor, Consultant Pediatric Neurologist, Paras Hospital, Gurgaon, Director and Co-Founder, Continua Kids. So the topic of today's discussion is normal developmental milestones from 0 to 5 years of age. So before I start the developmental milestone, principles which are there and which helps in the trajectory of the development of normal milestones. So rule number 1 is that milestones are achieved. It's an interplay between the genetics and the environment. So I don't have any say on that. Whatever parents give to their children, the genes, it's given to the child. But we have a full command over what environment do we give to a child for the development of their milestones. So with each passing day, a child gets the stimulus for the attainment of their age-specific milestones. The second principle is that we divide the milestones into 4 quadrants. That means the milestones are divided into motor component, gross motor, that means in which we should know that when our child would be able to head control, sit, walk. These are the major motor, gross motor milestones. The other ones are fine motor. That means how good we are in picking up smaller things, in passing one object from one hand to another, and we have the grip of the object. So these are what you call as fine motor milestones. The third are social and communication. That means how we greet with others, how do we respond to the greeting of others, how do we communicate, be through language, be through speech, be through our body language, through our actions, through the hand. So that is what you call as social and communication. And fourth is the speech and language. So speech and language is specifically the verbal thing by which we communicate to the other person. So we will start with the motor milestones first, that at what age my child should have at least a minimum of these milestones. So it is not a certain category that, okay, you reach 1 year of age and the very next birthday, the day of your next day, you should start walking. No. So there's a range. There are like children who start walking by 10 months. There are children who start walking by 18 months. For me, as a neurologist, for me, those are all equal. But yes, beyond 18 months is something which I don't like. You have to go to your doctor to find out what is wrong. You can wait till that time, but then afterward, that is the red flag. You have to connect with your doctor to find out what's wrong and what we have to do to sort this out. So let's start with the motor milestones. So the brain matures from head till toe. That means the maturation happens first for the neck, from head till the neck, and so we have the neck control of the child at the earliest. And that should happen by the age of 4 months. So by the age of 3 months, so once you make the child sit like this in your hand with a support, the neck should be supporting itself and should not fall like this. It should be partially supportive. And by the age of 4 months to 4.5 months, complete head control. The child should be able to look sideward, look around with the head controlled in a beautiful way. If that is not achieved, this is something wrong. We have to reach out for the doctor. The next is sitting. So sitting is like, as the brain matures from the head, you go for the sitting. So by the age of 6 months and 7 months, I should be able to sit. Sitting is by 2 ways. You can sit on your support with your hands like this, or you can have an independent sitting. So independent sitting can be achieved by the age of 7 to 8 months, and that is fine with me. Before that, from head control to sitting, there is the hand function. So the child start having a good coordination and mouthing comes. That means he has the coordination of the hand and can bring it to the mouth. So that is called as mouthing, and which is also a very important milestone. So by the time the child starts having the head control, this should also come in. And as the child matures and the maturation goes down, the child should be able to go and reach for an object. If you have a dangling toy in front of him, they should reach out and have a grasp like this and get it maybe to the mouth or something. So that is what you call as normal reach phenomena, and this has to happen between the head, after the head control and before the sitting. So this is how it matures. And then after you have started sitting, then comes the maturation more down, and then the maturation for your legs come in, and then you are able to stand. That happens by the age of 9 months, 10 months, in some children 11, 12, I'm fine with that. So this is how it progresses. One point has to be noticed, that if the child is not sitting, you should not make your child go for a walker and make him stand, because if the maturation has not reached for the sitting part and you put the child preliminary for standing supported by walker, the legs can go just bow shaped. The straightened legs can just bend down because they are still not mature enough to take the weight of the body on the legs. So it's advisable not to use walker when the child is not sitting. Before sitting, if you use it, there are a lot of pressure on the legs and that can just become bow shaped. So that is what you call as gross motor milestones. Then the next milestones are fine motor. Fine motor means that I'm able to handle the smallest thing or the bigger thing through the hands. Like, suppose, first, as the child reaches out for the object by the age of 4 months or 5 months and try to reach and grasp, that time the grasp is like this. He won't be able to pick up very fine things like this. That comes by the age of 8 to 9 months. And after it comes, before that, the child can be able to transfer one object from one hand to another, because that also requires a lot of coordination, and this happens by the time the child has able to pick up the finer things, and simultaneously the transfer of object from one hand to another comes in. That is a very important milestone, because that tells me there's a good coordination, and if you give him another toy, he will take it, pass it the first toy to other hand, reach out for the other toy, also he will take it, try to put it in the same hand, and also will reach out for the third one. So this is a normal phenomena, and this is by that I know that the fine motor has come in, the grasp has come in, and the child is fit to do and pick up small things also. So this is what you call as fine motor. Now next come the social and communication. So by the age of at least 2 months, when the child is 2 months old, if the child is just lying down and you pass in front of him, the child, there will be a follow-up gaze of the eyes who would be following whosoever is moving around. So that happens by the age of 2 months. And by the age of 3 months, when you are talking to the child with a good eye connect, and the child knows that, okay, I have been talked to and I've been addressed to, social smile will come in. So mind it, this smile is not the same as the smile which the child smiles when the child is sleeping or without any cause, or you just try to touch the child and the child starts smiling. This is not the same smile. This smile is without touching. You're talking to the child with an eye contact and you're addressing him and the child starts smiling. So this is what you call, by the age of 3 months, you get this milestone, and that is called as social smile. This is a very, very important milestone, and because a number or the incidence of the autism is increasing day by day, so this milestone is very important, and every parent should take care that this milestone is achieved. Then after that, what is the next social milestones is, so you want to talk to the child will laugh and will make some gurgling sound. If by the age of 6 months this is not achieved, this is something wrong with the child. If you address the child, call him by the name, you will get a full attention of the child towards you, and the address of the name would be very well, has to be, connectivity has to be started by this age. And by the age of 10 months, if you wave and tell him say bye bye, so the child would be able to say bye bye. So this is again a way by which we communicate, we connect with the people, and by this we know that the child has no hearing concerns. That means the command which has been given is heard, processing of command is happening, and in response to that a good communication has come in, and the child is waving bye bye in response to the communication, and he understood the purpose of this way. So this is again a very important social milestone in which we say that waving, or the next is, suppose you are indicating towards an object and the child looks towards that. Oh, suppose you say, oh look, there is a bird which is going. Look, there is a bird. The child should look in there and focus out and reach out at the pointing of the finger. This again is a way by which we communicate, because at this point of time speech is not there. By the age of 10 months, 11 months, monosyllable will come in, but this is the way we understand that there is a communication between two individuals. Now coming to the speech milestone, speech and language. So basically by the age of 1.5 years, the child is all focused for the motor milestones, because by the age of 1.5 years, the child should be able to walk independently without any support. And after that, that means by the age of 18 months, the vocabulary generally is not more than 5 to 15 contextual words. What do you mean by contextual words? Mummy ko mummy, papa ko papa, pankhe ko pankha, book ko book, or pani ko pani, whatever. So like at least 5 to 15 contextual words should be there. And then by the time the child reaches 2 years, that means in the span of next 6 months, the vocabulary has to bloat up, and as an explosive rise in the number of words, and some children start speaking like 200 words. So from 50, that's the minimum which I want at that age. From 50 to 200 is the normal trend in this 6 months. And by the time the child has this vocabulary, he starts joining two words together. Pani de do. Ye le lo, mummy aao, papa jao, papa pass. So there is simultaneously increase in the vocabulary and also simultaneously increase in the joining of the words. So this should happen by the age of 2 years. So that is why the importance of stimulation is very, very important at 1.5 years to 2 years, because that is the time when there is an exponential rise in the expression and the speech and the language. So at this point of time, to have a screen time is a big no-no. In fact, the American Academy of Pediatrics, as well as Canadian Academy, as well as the Indian Academy of Pediatrics, everybody has got their guidelines which says that by the age of 2.5 years, in fact certain says 3 years, you should not show screen time to the children, because that will hamper their speech concern. That will hamper the way they express their vocabulary. Behaviorals would come in, because as the child is exposed to screen, the child starts just swiping up the logos there, and with each swipe he if he doesn't like that song, he just swipes, get it off, start with something new. And this is how you understand that, okay, in the normal life also I can swipe, and he starts swiping in the air. But if the scenario doesn't change, the child shows temper tantrums, behaviors come in. So that is why, keeping in view of all that things, the screen time is prohibited and not allowed for children less than 2.5, and some say by 3 years also. Because TV screen is a one-way communication, you are not communicating. It's just one-way receiving thing. The child does not have to use his brain, because there is just a picture which is coming. The next picture comes in, which has an imprint on the brain. The next picture comes in. There is no way you are thinking on that. There's just an imprint. And because of that, the neuronal connections which should be there because of the thinking process doesn't happen. There's pruning of the neurons, and then your cognitive skills, later on what you called as intelligence skills, are also not that great as a child who has been read stories to, as compared to a child vis-a-vis who has been just exposed to screen time. So the early benefits are that the child may be able to have a rote learning of the poems or whatever he's shown to, but there is definitely an expressive lag of the speech and communication, definitely a later cognition or intellectual concerns comes in, and a lot of behavior comes in. So during this period of the speech and communication time, please give him a lot of stimulus in the way of talking to the child, night stories, making him do the things, and telling him a lot of command, giving him a lot of command, and playing with him is what we want, and get the maximum out of the child for these type of milestones. So now let's move on to the next age. So by the time the child has reached 3 or maybe 4, at this point of time, the child should have enough abstract thinking to weave a story out of whatever is happening. So by 4 years, the child should be able to tell a story. I went to that place, the Didi gave me this, I ate it, something fell on my dress, then I washed it there, auntie said bye-bye to me, and she was very nice to me, and I came back with this. So this is all a child should be able to tell. Or I went to the school, came back with this, blah, blah. So everything is like there, the vocabulary has been built in, and this is the way they join in the sentences, and the expression comes in. So now it has been achieved. The few other concerns which can happen and which are diagnosed by the age of 4 and 5 years are the learning disability and ADHD. What do you mean by that is like attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Because a child is always on a go when a child is a child, but as you grow up, you have to have certain amount of patience, your attention span increases, and then you are expected to sit down and do the work. And that is why the school periods, once we send our children to the schools, there is like a 15 minutes period when the child is taught a poem or some activity, cutting, pasting, and then because the attention span at this age has to be minimum of 15 minutes, and then the child is asked to do some activity, other activity, or have some food, and then the next activity is planned. So in this 15 minutes, a child should have, by the age of 4 years, a school going age, and should be able to sustain and complete that activity. If this is not there, a child has a lot of impulsivity, impatience, inattention, is not following the command for the next 15-20 minutes. That means I have a concern over here, and the child could have a probability of a diagnosis of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder if he is unable to cope up and is unable to follow whatever is asked for. So at this point, you should know that your child should be able to follow the commands, have a consistent workout, not television. Mind it, if a few parents come in and say that, okay, my child can watch television for hours together. No, television watching for hours together is not considered an activity. An activity is like you do some block activity, do some cutting, pasting, poem, writing, coloring, drawing. So this is what you call as activity. And if the child is not able to complete that, or is before you give a full command and the child comes in and say no and puts some another question before the next step, that is what you called as that the child has got impatience and hyperactivity. So that is just the basic. It is not said that once you have these things, the child would be labeled as ADHD. No, there are 100,000 reasons that the child may be impatient. I am saying that this could be one of the differentials in which you have to keep a view on, that if my child is not doing this by the age of 4 years, I could keep one as a differential. The second differential at this point of time of having inattention could be the child is not having a good vision. The child is unable to hear well. The environment is not friendly. So I'm not going into that focus because there's limitation of time. I'm just putting across the differential by this, that this could be the differential, and the child of 4 years should be able to do this much amount of work. Next what I took a thought of was dyslexia or learning disability. So by the time we start sending our children by the age of 4 or maybe 5, the writing comes in, and there is like alphabets, numbers, and if a child should be able to copy it in a right way and should be able to identify the colors, should be able to identify the body parts, should be able to differentiate between the different alphabets, should be able to differentiate between the numbers by the time the child reaches school. If the child is unable to do so, and specifically if the child has mirror imaging, by the time of 6 years also, there's a lot of mirror imaging which is happening. That means you should suspect something is wrong. That's the red flag for me. And you should go and approach for the doctor to find out what could be the cause of my child not doing this. So one of the cause, I'm not saying that's the only cause, one of the cause could be because of the underlying some learning disability. Because we are living in an era that I should be able to understand these basic things and should be able to match and talk appropriately and reach age appropriate milestones. So the parents should know a small word upon all these things, and that is why I am touching up on all these small things. So this is the red flag that by the age of 6 years also the child is doing a lot of mirror imaging, is unable to write even a single sentence, a small, a long word, and is making a lot of spelling mistakes. The handwriting is really worse. The coloring is not age appropriate. He just scratches down. The words are not clear. He's unable to understand and comprehend and find out the right words. That is the time you should reach to the doctor for those things. There's one more thing which is I want to put up focus on, what you call, because we get a lot of children which come up with the diagnosis of global developmental delay. So as I told you, there are 4 domains. So once you can have just in one domain there is certain concerns. That means my child is having a good command following, my child is reaching out for whatever I am telling, but he is unable to speak and there is no expression of the word, whereas his command following is good. If I say, okay, go get me the spoon from the kitchen, he'll go, come back, but by the age of 2.5, 3 years, he still is unable to express, does not have a good vocabulary of expression. I will say, okay, I have a expressive speech delay, so that means I have one domain which is lacking. The rest of my domains are all normal. The rest of the three, I would say, okay, this is just one delay in my milestone in one aspect. Whereas if I have got like two concerns, I am unable to walk by the age of 18 months and similarly my vocabulary is 0 by the age of 18 months. I've got two domains in which I am lacking, and that is what you called as global developmental delay. So more than one domain is lacking. Out of those four, you say it could be a case of global developmental delay, and that is the time you have to reach out to your doctor. That is the time, that's the importance of this session. I'm really thankful to First Cry that they have taken up this important topic of understanding of the developmental milestone at this level, because I think that parents should understand and should know the basic of these so that the child reaches to the doctor at an early stage, so that early intervention can be planned at this age and we would be able to change the trajectory of the developmental milestone in a better way. As this always, if a child reaches to the doctor late and it's quite a while and we are like unable to perform early interventions. By early interventions, I mean the stimulatory things, telling up the child, telling up the ways how to get the milestones in a correct way. So this was what he called as global developmental milestone delays. So apart from this, I've got like hardly 5 more minutes to talk to. Apart from this, there are various apps which are available in which you can just type in your age and you will get a log of like, this is by this age your child should be able to reach this and this milestone. So this is really easily available, and even Continua Kids has also this app, and there are various other apps by which you will be able to get down your milestones, your child milestones, and would be able to find out whether this is delay, whether they are age appropriate, or whether they are just reaching beyond your age. So this is a must, and every parent should be able to do this, should do it for their children at least for the age of 5 years. Next, other important point is like, don't compare your child. As I've already told, there is like a whole range. So this whole range could be, suppose in an app, this says that by the age of 1 year, the child starts walking, and don't go into that panic button that by 1 year, he has to walk. It is like a range full. So for me, if the child is walked for like, I started walking by 14 months, I am fine. If the child is walked by 16 months, I am fine, but definitely not beyond 18. Similarly, for the command following, my child should be able to follow a single one-step simple command by the age of 18 months. So similarly, and certain children by the age of 1 year, 1 year, 2 months also would be able to follow that. Again, I'm not comparing. So there's a range, and you should know that this range exists, and you should keep your child in this range. Beyond this range, if something happens, definitely this is the time for you to reach out to your doctor. The other step which was like I wanted to ask in was that each passing day during this COVID era, this is in specific time of this COVID era, because everything was in lockdown, there was no social interaction, there was no connectivity, there was no no physical contact with people around, and because of that a lot of children are coming who are out from this age of 2 to 3 years or 4 years are coming up with speech delay. It's my humble request that at least if you are very scared or you are in a quarantine zone, at least start doing Skype talking. If there are only 2 people in the home and you are still not able to talk much to your child, start doing Skype talks with your friends' children, with your relative, because according to American Academy Pediatric, Skype talking is again a two-way communication and is much better than a single screen viewing of the screen time. And once you start and you have an opportunity to put your child to your friend's house and have a physical connectivity, that's the best form. But till that time, please try doing Skype talks with your child. Try to with your friends, children. Try to play games. Try to have board games and lessen up the time for the screen time for the better development of your child. So I think that I am on time. I was asked for a 30-minute session and I have done that exactly on time. And I am ready for the questions for the next 15 minutes. And I have got few questions. So first I will go to the questions which are there on the Facebook. Can a Down syndrome child improve in his mental dealing? So like any other child, the child of Down syndrome has got interplay between the genetics and an environment. Definitely you don't have a say in the genetics, but you have a say and a good say in the environment. So in a Down syndrome case, generally the intelligence quotient, like for all of us, a general intelligence quotient is IQ is around approximately 100. For Down syndrome, it can vary. It can go till the minimum of 40 to a maximum of 80, 85. So it all depends on how much are you exploiting that environment to get the genetics to have the maximum role. So you, like a other normal child who gets the stimulatory environment, definitely you have to give that stimulatory environment to a Down syndrome too, and reach up to that destination which has been written in the genetics that he would be able to achieve 85% of the IQ. Yes, I agree that they have a lesser IQ as compared to the general population, but I have seen children who was not given good environment and their IQ was much lesser, and as the stimulatory environment was given, their DQ was less. DQ is developmental quotient, and as the stimulatory environment was given, the DQ increased and finally giving a higher IQ. So please don't let loose that you have got a Down syndrome child and there won't be any, there's all darkness and there's no way around. That's wrong. So the next question is, by the age of 15 to 18 months, child shows a lot of tantrum. How to divert their attention and calm them down? So this is for a child is a child. You just cannot expect a child to behave like an adult. So all those mothers and all those parents who are viewing this, it's a request that there's a proverb which says it takes a village to raise a child, and that is perfectly fine. Once you become parent, you have to have a higher level of patience. A child have tantrums. This is his right. Because why this happens, the pathophysiology of having a tantrum by the child reaches around 2 years. That's why they say it's terrible twos, because the child feels that I have the mobility, I can walk, because he walks by the age of 2 years, and speech has come in but not to that extent that he would be have an independent living, but the child feels the freedom that I am an independent person, and why are these parents telling me and giving me instruction, don't do this, do this, don't do this, don't go there, come over here, do this, tell me your name 100 times, do this, do that. So the child feels this is not the way I should be raised, and that is the psychology behind of throwing a tantrum. So once you are raising a child in this age, make sure that there should be certain inhibitions, but those inhibitions should not be extracted like to any place. So if the child is like playing and have thrown a toy, that is okay. He's exploiting, he's exploring, he wants to see and hear what a toy when thrown looks like. He wants to know that what happens to the toy when it is thrown. So by this way he learns. He wants to go out always. Always a child who's like 18 months to 2 years is hung near the door or a gate because he just wants to go out, move and explore the world. So you have to make sure, something has happened. Sorry, we are having trouble playing this video. I think something has happened. Just give me a second and I will be connected. Yeah, I got this message on that. Sorry, we are having trouble playing this video.
I can see you live.
But my screen is all blank. My screen is blank.
Okay, you're live, ma'am.
Okay.
I can see you.
No problem. So I will continue. There was some technical glitch, and so I was on that. You have to have certain freedom to your child to get the best out of your child. So if the child just opens the door of the refrigerator and he's sitting there opened with the door, so don't just get into that panic attack. Just let the child have this. Tell him slowly, okay, distract him, take him out, let's go out, and try to distract him from that activity to a lesser nuisance activity. Get him to the blocks. Chalo, let's play with the blocks. We'll get out from that place and play with the blocks. A child needs attention 24/7. By the time the child gets up, he wants to explore the world. And if you don't have time, this is your problem, just not his problem. So at least take the help of your nanny or grandparents or friends or whosoever for the engagement of the child. And if the child is making a lot of trouble, you can always distract the child. Distracting means you can take him to what he wants to, which is like of lesser nuisance to what he is doing. Maybe you can take him to the kitchen and start giving him some dough. Chalo, let's play with this. So all those activity which make him fun, make him happy, you should know. And there are 100,000 activities. If you're living at Gurgaon, there is every place which is giving you ideas on that, and you should try on those things. So distractibility is the key, and time and giving attention to your child is a must, specifically by the age when the child is 2.5 years of age. The third question is, can you please name those apps which tells for the development? Okay, so at my center, Continua Kids have it, CONTINUA, Continua, KIDS. It stands for Center of Neurotherapy in Uniquely Able Kids. And once you Google out the app for the development, there are 100 others. So the other question is, my child is 18 months old and she's addicted to phone. We are working parents and I'm worried about her growth. Even in sleep, she swipes up. I don't know what to do. Can you help, please? You have your help to your child. I can only give you suggestion. I can understand the things which the working parents are going through in this era when there are no helps and we are tied up to our works and there's nobody around. But then you have to sort out the things. You have to prioritize the thing.
Your house may look messy, that can be worked on later on. You have to prioritize your work. You have to have time for your child, because until and unless you don't have time, how can I tell you the activities which you have to do with your child? A list of activities is huge, but the thing is, like, you have to have time. So I always tell my parents, you can outsource the food. Your house could be messy as worst as it can. It hardly matters. The only thing at this point of time for an 18-month is your time. Don't get your child addicted to the mobile. And for that, you have to work on that. I cannot come and tell you like how you have to prioritize, but definitely the priority number one is your child at this point of time. If you are telling me that even in sleep she swipes up, that has really taken a toll. Please start working on that. Don't get into that panic attack. Sit down today, make a note of what are the things, on what things you are wasting time, and that could be outsourced and could be helped, and on what things you can just make shorten up and time could be given to your child. Divide your time between both of you, both parents, and then help your child. Activities could be anything: drawing, coloring, playing books, playing peekaboo, playing chidiya ud also is an activity which will help a child for 18 months to develop humongously. Okay? So, does nutrition plays important role in development? Oh, definitely. So along with environment, nutrition does help. But I see a lot of parents just giving a lot of attention to just nutrition. Terrible 2 is the time when the child has a picky eater. It's a picky eater. So make sure that whatever you make has to be very chatpata or something which is like tangy to the taste, or what your child likes. Maybe it could be your meetha also the child could like. So make sure that whatever you make is tasty. Don't give up. Seen parents giving bland foods to the children. Don't be so harsh. And also giving screen time as a promotive thing for the child to eat. That again is not a good sign. So let your child eat whatever he or she wants, but without the aid of the screen. Because once the child gets addicted, that's the early sign of the addiction, and later the period will go on. So don't use screen time as a promotional activity or as an incentive for the child to feed. Make sure that these two are different things. I know it's very difficult to feed a child, but that is okay. Give him nutritionally strong food. That means instead of chapati, you can give a paratha, which is like stuffed. So even if he eats 3 bites, I know I have enough. I've given him enough energy. Add some, even if you make some khichdi, add some vegetable, pour in some ghee in that. So that is very good amount of nutritionally strong food. Even if the child eats 4 to 5 bites, I know that I've given enough. Don't give a lot of milk, because milk is 90% water. Instead of that, give paneer, so that even if the child eats 2 or 3 bites of paneer, the whole glass of milk has been served to him in that. So make sure that's more important. Again, there's one question that my daughter is 2.5-year-old and she's not speaking properly. Means she's completing her talk in 2 or 3 words. Is this normal? No, by the age of 2.5 years, the child should be able to speak sentences. Make out that even if you are also talking like this in small sentences with her, make sure that is not the cause. Try to, because by this time the child should be able to add the verb and the preposition to that. It is not just the noun and the verb. Mummy aao, that is a noun and a verb. Aap jao, Papa khao, maine khaya. So these 2 words are like only 2, a noun and a verb. But this time, by 2.5, everything has to come in. So make sure that you start telling her, reading out stories in which a sentence is formed. And similarly, while talking also, start using at least 3 to 4 word sentences so that she gets into. Also, always don't give her whenever she wants, Mama do. Nahi. क्या चाहिए? मम्मा ये दे दो, मम्मा मुझको खाना खाना है. Tell her, every time you repeat, the vocabulary will build it and she will understand this is how the things work. Don't just give her easily the things which she wants by just 2 words usage, so she won't understand the concept of using more words. So another question is when we should start book reading for a kid for his development. As soon as the child is born. You know, the lullabies which you used to do, those were like you're talking to your child. If you are not reading that book, but at least you are talking. So the story of Abhimanyu is absolutely correct. So by the age of 24 to 28 week in utero, the child start listening to whatever you are telling, you are talking. So even at that early age, the child starts hearing. So you can understand as soon as the child is in your arms, just after the birth, you can start talking with him. And reading of a book basically, so as soon as you can understand that okay, the child is sitting and is able to have built up a small bit of vocabulary, and you want to supplement that vocabulary by the book words, you can do it. So as soon as the child knows ye aana hai, ye jana hai, khana hai, all those simple noun and the verb, and you really want to add up good words, you want to form the sentences, that is the time when you can start reading to your child. Reading to your child just does not help in the building up the vocabulary, it also helps in connecting to the child. You are giving time to your child. There is a lot of sensory connection. You are touching your child. The child is thinking and visualizing those things in the brain, what you are telling, and that helps in the development of more neurons and the synapses to one another, and that increases the developmental quotient as well as the intelligence later in life. So that is why reading of books or talking to your child is just not about talking, it's everything else too. The next question is, my child is 3 years, very stubborn and seems not interested in anything, be it eating or listening. Is that his development not happening properly? Look, I don't know whether you are giving enough time, because at this COVID era, I'm finding a lot of parents are at fault rather than the children. Because the child wants to go out and play and you're restricting the child and you're telling the child, okay, you play with this for hours together, which is not good. I mean, which is not the normal development of the child. The child at the age of 3 years was supposed to go to a play group, to a playground, was talk to the friends, would go to the friend's house, where he's just restricted to this place. So a lot of children are becoming stubborn at this age. So make sure that you give ample time. I know that you don't have that much amount of physical energy as the child of a 3-year-old, but then you have to build it up for these difficult times. Once this period is over, I think a lot of stubbornness in normal children, the children will come back to the normal thing. And if you're telling me my child is stubborn, every child is stubborn. Even a 14-year-old is stubborn at times. So that is nothing comes in a development unless and until it's really hampering something. So apart from that, are there other questions? Let me just see more of it. I have to go to the comments. How much sugar is to be given to a 1.6 year kid? Like it should be added to milk? Yes, you can add, but lesser the sugar, better it is. Less sugar, less the best it is. And instead of sugar, you can add gur, because jaggery has much more iron content than the pure white sugar. And the take home message is the lesser the sugar, the best it is. My child is 3 years, stubborn. I've already covered this question. My child hiccups very often. Is it fine? Yes, it's okay. He's 3 years old. It's okay. Okay. So I think I have answered all the questions. Ma'am, what about kid? How is saying that no specifically about anything food? If my kid is fussy about food, how will he grow both physically and mentally? So, I know that eating food is important, but I also know this, that no person in the whole world would like to be without food, not even a single kid. Once a child is born, there is connection of the stomach to the brain, and as soon the stomach gets empty, a newborn starts crying for the food. So that is the scenario. So if your child is 3 years old and is fussy, I don't believe it. Either because a child would never want to remain without food. Maybe you are overfeeding, or the quality of the food is not good. Something or the other is there. Make sure that you are the mothers. I see a lot of mothers just feeding up the child, and the rest of the development, other things are left untreated. So make sure you are also not fussy about the food. If the weight and the height is age appropriate, go and talk to your pediatrician. If it's age and weight appropriate, don't worry on that aspect. Okay? By what age child should learn to read? So by the age of 18 months, the child starts recognizes the words. If you will ask, apple kahan hai isme, would be able to get bad kahan hai, ball kahan hai. So by that time, the child should be able to tell you and get you. Even though the child may not be able to speak that much, but he will be able to point to the words, the normal common words. My child screams a lot. So, find out the reason for the child to scream. Why is he screaming a lot? No child will scream for no reason. There must be something. He's 3 years old. So, 3-year-old requires to play, requires to act. And if you're giving a good normal environment, reach out to your doctor and find out the cause. Definitely, a child who's 3 years should not scream for no reason. Get into the child's psychology. Okay? Reach out to your pediatrician for that. So, I think I've answered all the questions and I am done. How to engage? One more has come in. How to engage 2-year-old twins. One of them still doesn't take interest in talking or imitating us. I think a 2-year-old should take interest in imitating. That's the red flag. If they are not, you have to reach out to your pediatrician or your pediatric neurologist to find out what's happening. Find out the reason, what is the thing. And you need to get think often, because 2 years I have reached my red flag of not imitating. There is other question. My question is, by what age child should learn to read book? Okay. My child should learn to read book. My child is 4-year-old. Yes, the child should be able to read the book by the age of 4 years. So, towards joining my, cat, hat, everything, if you can be able to join 2 words, and should be able to read by the age of 4 years. So I'm not saying that the child should be able to read encyclopedias, but yes, reading book, I understand it's maybe you are telling me the alphabets, I suppose, or joining 2 words. Yes, by the age of 4 years, they should be able to do that. If they are not, then I think you should be, you should think about and ask your pediatrician or your neurologist to answer that question for you. Like, to sort out the reason why there's something concerned. Maybe some vision, hearing, understanding, behavior, attention. You have to reach out for that. How to get rid of thumb sucking? 3.5. Don't do anything, please. It will get relieved on its own. Okay? So, I think I've answered up everything. There are no more questions. I'll end the topic over here, and thank you very much. Thank you very much all the participants for making it such a lively session. Thank you so much.